In this video, we'll discuss how you can align files such as reflectance maps from different cameras or different flight dates using the Georeferencer in QGIS. Now, why would we want to do this? This is a really useful thing to know how to do. Maybe you've had an experience where you set up a set of polygons over your plots and they look great when you're looking at one reflectance map or one output. Then you put in a different reflectance map or orthomosaic or something, and like we see here, maybe those polygons are not matching up well at all. So by the end of this video, we'll have an updated version of this one that's nicely aligned that looks like this. The good news here is that it doesn't require any special equipment or anything. We just need something that's in a fixed position between the two different files that we want to align to each other. Now we call these ground control points. Some people I think are maybe like sometimes there's feelings of like, oh, if I do ground control points, I need to be out there with a survey grade GPS. There are examples of times when you might need to do that. Like if you need to align something to a base map like Google Maps or something, but for most applications, if you're just trying to take an NDVI map and align it to an RGB or align it to a thermal or something, we have one of those in this data set as well. If we're just trying to take a thermal that looks like this and get it to line up with our NDVI map so it looks good like this, we just need something that will be visible and not moving between our flights. They do sell very high quality ground control points that are intended to be used for this, but just with my personality, kind of knowing who I am, I just know they need to be visible and not move. So what we're looking at right here, these are just like durable, pretty heavy duty plastic plates from Walmart that cost me 50 cents each. So you can choose whatever's best for your applications. But what's important about them is that we just need to have something that we can compare between map 1 and map 2. And it's important that they are including the whole area that we want to correct. So around the edges is really important. There are papers showing that that's really important. Personally, I would also recommend having them through the middle, although I know that there's some literature out there that says it's less important to have them through the middle. I would recommend maybe 10 to 15. You might find that you don't need quite that many. I don't think that you're probably going to improve your results very much by having more than that. So now that we've explained what ground control points are, let's jump into this. What we'll do is click Layer and then Georeferencer. And this will open up a new window here, and then we can click File and then Open Raster. And here we're going to open whichever raster we want to correct. In this case, we'll open this. This is a RGB orthomosaic. And then we'll zoom in on our ground control point that we want to correct. I'm going to select right in the middle of that. And then I'll say that I'm going to correct that from the map canvas. Now, what we're looking at here, these are some other files. We want to align to this NDVI layer here. So I'm going to uncheck my other layers in this project. I'm going to zoom into that ground control point, and I'm going to put it right in the middle of that. And if I'm happy with it, then I'm going to click OK. And I can go around to my other ground control points and select them, select from map canvas, find them in my other map that I'm aligning to, and then go through the rest of my ground control points. For 10 to 15 ground control points, this is typically going to take me maybe 3 minutes. Alright, so I've now added all my ground control points, but let's just say that that I wanted to add an extra one for some reason. You can sometimes just find like anything else that might be consistent between your image sets. So I see here there's a post. It wasn't added here to be a ground control point, but if it shows up clearly in your maps, then you can add it. So you can, again, I feel like this is a pretty flexible process. So you can click that, and now you have something that was not meant to be a ground control point, but you can add other things. So if I'm happy with that, we can go into the settings here for this transformation. And I recommend pretty strongly to change it to not be linear. I would recommend something like thin plate spline and cubic here. And the reason is because you might notice in some cases that you'll have some like kind of curvature or other distortions in your map. And if you just are doing a linear transformation, then it will move it around, it'll make it bigger, smaller, rotate it. But if you have like warping, then linear won't account for that. And so I would pretty strongly recommend changing that from the defaults, and then you'll be able to get a really nice alignment. We can rename this thing, and you can call it anything you'd like. So that was just by clicking those three dots. I see here it will load into the project when we're done, so that all looks good to me. And I'll click OK, and then I can click here, the little green play symbol, and this will start the georeferencing, which can maybe take about a minute. Cool, so that's done, and it loaded the layer. We can close out of this. For now, I'm not going to save my ground control points, but you could save them if you want to get the data out of the locations. And then we're going to put this to the test. This was our NDVI map. Let's load in those polygons, the shapefile layer that's specifying where our plots were. Our old map, our old RGB map, looked like this. It was pretty badly off, and now we're going to find out if our new map looks better. Sure enough, is aligning much better. There's the comparison between the old and the new, and how it looks compared to that NDVI map. Those are looking pretty well aligned. So I hope this has been useful for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.